Hi, my name is Elfreda. I'm a textile artist and I'm a resident at Pullman Yards. I pretty much do hand stitching throughout my work, both small and at scale. I also paint. And essentially, my whole practice is inspired by my diasporic identity. So they kind of look like maps, especially when you're looking from afar. And they have this topographic effect where I'm like layering shapes of leather. So there's a bit of figuration in there as well. So you kind of see different figures, and that changes depending on the stories that I'm telling. But in general, you will always sort of see this idea of maps and travel, whether that's psychological travel, physical travel, migration, and just cultural fusions, essentially. I've always wanted to work at scale, but then all of a sudden, it's like the scale of this place and just like the possibilities, I think, is kind of messing with me, because as much as I love to go bigger, I'm like, oh God, now I can go big. And I'm almost like, what do I do? But I have a wealth of ideas, so I'm not too worried. It's really just about realizing them at this point. I looked up a little bit about Pullman Yards, and essentially in university, if I hadn't done fashion, I would have done film. So that's really what was just like very interesting to me about the space and the way that it's used and all of the like amazing films and shows that have been shot here as well. So I just thought, okay, well, this would be a great place to do anything. I kind of start with actually the color story, to be honest with you. And that comes in because the color of material is actually entirely dependent on the texture of the fabric. And so whatever colors I think are going to help me tell whatever story I want to, I then go into collecting the right materials for that. And then I start to essentially like draw and cut and draw and cut. It's hard to explain, to be honest with you, but it's somewhere along the lines of picking the shape, and then cutting that out and then layering that on another piece of fabric. And then another thing I think that's key for my process is the fact that I'm always repurposing materials from old pieces. My works are generally sort of tapestry style, so they're flat. And there's like texture in there when you get closer, but that's kind of how they look in general. And I think what I have is this sort of material textile language that I've been building over my practice. And I think that between that and, my sort of connection to wearables, I've really been thinking of this world where the works are emerging from the wall onto the body, but also as textile sculptures. So you can definitely expect to see some sort of 3D work, but I'm excited. I really am. And it's been a while since I have sort of woken up every morning really excited to get into the studio and, get my hands dirty and really just try new things. So that's been happening a lot. So I'm excited to see what the outcomes will be.